Hello guys, welcome back to another session of Carnivore Muscle Ramblings live Q&A segment number 73. How's everyone doing tonight? Nice to be here, nice to see you all. Greetings to new channel members, quite a few people have joined this week. I'm just going to pop them up on the screen right now. And that would be Janelle Way. Thank you very much for joining, appreciate you being a member. For anyone that's wondering about my channel, what I do, basically I focus on carnivore bodybuilding, fat loss, body recomposition, all things health as well, and nutrition. So yeah, if you have any questions, guys, please leave a Q in the chat before your questions so I can easily spot it. Otherwise, welcome. So what's happening this week in the world of me saying stuff online about stuff, trying to be useful? Well, I now have a merchandise store which is available to my YouTube channel members, but I don't know when it will be synced up yet, but it's ready to go and it's apparently on. So keep your eyes peeled for just below the YouTube videos. You'll see like it'll say whatever. Here's my t-shirts. Here's my jogging bottoms. Here's my whatever, you know, all that kind of gear. So keep your eyes peeled out for that one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to selling those. Basically, it's like an affiliate program. So it's a way of you getting my stuff, my branding. Kind of representing the carnivore muscle movement, which seems to be very, 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 very popular as of right now. In the last month, I've actually achieved my highest level of growth on YouTube as a small-time, very much amateur content creator. We've got Rick in the house. Thank you for joining. Nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Paul, nice to see you. Very good. Thank you for joining. I'm looking forward to lots of good questions tonight, Paul. We've got Matthew. Thank you for joining. Duck, microphone, headphones, electric guitar, and I think it's an alien, but I may be wrong. It works. It works. King of duck fat. Duck fat's got a funny smell to me, and goose fat as well. I think it's just because the fatty acid profile's a bit different. But yeah, I don't have an aversion to it. It just, you know, when you eat something, you think, oh, it smells a bit unusual. But yeah, we've got a tub of that in the fridge. Still getting through my tallow very slowly. I'm eating very lean now, guys. I'm eating, well, today was like 70 grams of fat. Not a lot of food, and it's lean. I wasn't adding fat to anything. So, yeah, I'm still cutting back body fat. Very good. What's good? Nice to see you, Matthew, again. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Nice to see you, Mike. Thank you for joining. Let me chuck a banner up on the screen so you guys know what's going on. There we go. Excellent. I was going through my record collection, happened to find that old favourite. It still makes me laugh. Well, what was that on? My brother and I actually went to a Emporium yesterday, which, if you're in the US, you listen to this, maybe even from UK, you don't know what it is. Basically, it's a kind of like a pop-up shop, which you can have inside a big shop. And it's kind of like a storefront, but you're not there. So you handmade stuff, like I think like a craft store, but you know, anything. So vintage clothes, things like that. Ornaments, decorations, jewelry, soaps, gift bags, all sorts. But yeah, I went to one of them anyway, getting back to the point, and my brother looked for some records and he could not find the one he wanted. But yeah, they're getting quite expensive nowadays, so keep you on the lookout, guys. If you're at home sitting there thinking, oh, I've got all these records in store and I could probably sell them, look at them, go online. I think there's a website called like Disco Dog or something like that. Some sort of website where you can sort of type in your code, your album, your LP, and it says how much your thing is worth or how much it retails for online. You might be pleasantly surprised. Usually lamb fat or butter, but I like to mix it up. Excellent. Yeah, I like butter myself. Also, probably a tallow is probably my second favourite. Thank you for joining, Ben. Nice to see you. Hey, Carl, what's good? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Any questions, guys? Chuck them in. Otherwise, I'm going to ramble for like ages. Nice advancement, Jonathan. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm still not quite happy with it, so I might have to change it again. It's all about presentation, guys. As good as information content might be, it's all about presentation. People seem to value that. I don't really care for it, but it gets people interested. The song called Disco Duck. Yeah, I might play that one. Hey, Matthew, what's good? Hey, of all peeps, just watching a few minutes during a break in wage slave cuck life job. Yeah. Life's too short. Work for yourself like me. or don't. You end up doing live streams at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night sometimes. Could be worse, but you just chuck on some glasses, you'll be all right. But yeah, all good. Right. So now what's been happening for me? Bodybuilding, good. Pain, not so good. So I've heard back from my surgeon as of the 8th of March this year, which is a few days ago. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to burn the nerves in my right SI joint cavity. The idea is that it will reduce my pain significantly so I can actually have somewhat of a normal life without being crippling pain for walking 10-15 minutes around a shop, which is extremely infuriating. But it's frustrating because I can go to the gym, I can cycle to the gym, cycling's fine, doesn't really aggravate the hip joints. But then, walking, gravity, up, upright, not good on the hips, not pleasant at all. So I'm taking it easy for the next week. But yeah, other than that, not much other news. Trying to think. Training's going well. Current macro intake is averaging 350 protein, 40 or 50 grams of fat, and about 100 or so grams of 100 grams or so of fat, and about 40-50 grams of carbs. So not too bad. Have you seen the Generation Iron films? Yes. I was actually featured in a recent Generation Iron article online, which I think you've seen already. I just thought I'll point that one out. But yeah, I saw them all. I've got the first one that came out. I think it's just called Generation Iron. So it's a 2012 competition between Phil Heath and Kai Green, where Phil Heath won. Very narrowly won, basically, but I think he still deserved the win. I've seen the Rich Piano one. I've seen the Natty for Life one. I've seen the Enhanced one. I've seen most of them. They're pretty cool. I think the filming quality is good, but the way they piece it together is a bit odd. I'd like to see a bit more characteristic stuff of these people. Like when they had Phil Heath on for the 2012 video, it didn't represent who he was as a person. You just saw this guy that's got it all easy, but you didn't realise he's doing about 7 or 8 different therapies a week that he had to pay for and go out of his way, out of his day to actually do each week so he could recover from his workouts. You didn't see that. You just saw the guy pops to the gym, has his food made for him, goes home, sits on the sofa, has a cup of coffee in the morning. That was it. That's not the reality of bodybuilders, guys. It's a 24/7 job. And the better you get at it, the more time you have to invest into it, which is kind of strange because usually you think you acquire a certain skill set, then it becomes easier and easier. It doesn't. And the more advanced you get in bodybuilding, the harder it becomes. But yeah, cool stuff. I do like those. I did like that film. Just because it's a bit novel, You can get around on a bicycle. I'm still using mine occasionally. Yeah, I cycle to and from the gym, 15 minutes each way. I can manage about 20 minutes of walking a day, whether it be the dog or walking around the shops. I food shop a lot because I'm eating a lot of food right now. It does like mass, so yeah, all cool. I'm making good progress with slow pull-ups. When I get to double figures, should I add weight? Good question. So I'm guessing you mean kind of like if you go from 9 reps to 10 reps. I would personally look at time and tension. So, I mean, broadly speaking, somewhere between about 60 and 90 seconds is good. So for most people, that will look like, under my kind of training methodology and also Jerome Armstrong's, broadly speaking, about 6 to 9 reps. At the moment, my reps are very slow, like 10 seconds each direction. So I'll probably say that I'm doing maybe about 90 seconds on average, generally speaking. And I'm doing about 5 reps, something like that. But yeah, it's funny when you're doing like leg extensions sometimes. A 1 rep leg extension will sometimes take me 30 seconds. So I'll do a static hold at the top just so it reduces the shearing force on my knees. In that I can't use as much weight because I've maxed out the machine now. So, and people are like, oh, you can put a gym pin on it, which means you can basically put a pin inside the slot of the machine, put a plate over it, then it adds weight to it. But the thing is, it changes the resistance curve a bit. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel safe. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of a weight popping off as I'm lifting. So not for me, but I'd rather just lift slower or do a static hold. But yeah, I'd look at increasing weights once you get past about 90 seconds. So if you're doing slow reps, you're getting 40 seconds. Keep going. The Persian one was quite good. I've not seen that one. I have to look. I know they released like loads of them over a few years, and I kind of, I wouldn't say I stepped away from like that sort of thing, but I certainly wasn't looking too intently at it. Question, just got my blood work done. Testosterone dropped a bit as well as bioavailable. Would increase my fat consumption help that? Yes. As I've said to you many times, you need to eat more food and stop doing rucking and 10-mile walks every day and 10 million steps. You're stressing your body out. You told me to eat more fat, and I've been over the past few weeks. Good. Yeah, continue eating more fat. You're trying to make, I'd think you're trying to maintain a too low of body fat relative to what you're trying to achieve. Now, an athlete that is trying to be lean does not need to be super duper lean. You're very lean. That's the problem. Your body fat is about 10% or below from my memory. So I'd certainly look at actually increasing your body fat. You're trying to force your body to do something it does not want to do. And that will always be my answer. With you, it's always train less and eat more. And that's always been the same consistent message. So I'd certainly eat more food. And if you've been eating more fat, great. It might just be a bit of time. Look at sleep, but definitely look at reducing what you're doing overall as well. So you got two different levers you can pull there. And if your sleep's optimized, you're wearing blue blocking glasses at night, you're staying away from screens, stuff like that, then you're doing all that you can. The Dorian Yates one was good. Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed that one. That one came out I don't want to say quite recently. Maybe in the last year. I think it's called like The Mass Monster, but I really enjoyed that one. I did really enjoy that one. I thought it was a bit more personal. It kind of went into his detail of his life and stuff. 5 seconds each way. So yeah, so 50 seconds. Yeah, I would just do more reps or slow down the reps. Either one's fine. 5 seconds good. You know, just do more reps. What you'll notice is you'll have limiting factors once you get past a certain bracket of time and tension. So that be that your grip goes, for example, in which case you just keep getting better at it. You improve your grip, so you know your strength will go up in your forearms and things like that. When you get to the point where things start to hurt, maybe change the grip, change the angle, change, I don't know, the hand placement, in or out, you know, that sort of thing. But when you get very advanced, you'll know, because you'll struggle with something and you'll hit that little margin of, I cannot get any stronger in this movement, in which case add in an isometric hold. So maybe do 6 reps, takes you however long. Do a hold for as long as you can on the last rep. And just slowly release until you can't lift anymore. That's what I would do. Is there any idea down to use when constructing a pull-up bar? I'd think it would depend on your hand size. Absolutely. So I've got very, very short little fingers, but I've got big hands. Annoying. Very annoying. Which means when I lift, I have to lift a bit like that almost. So for me, a thinner bar actually works better. You're 6'5", 6'6", sorry, so you can probably get away with a thicker handle. I would look at perhaps, I'd say about a 2-inch bar. 2-inch bar. That's what I would do. You can get one between the doorway. You can actually buy ones that kind of extend out in and out. You can pin them, screw them to the door. I can't use them because I'm over 100 kilos. I think you're a bit lighter than that, so you might be fine with it, but they're like $20, $30 probably online. So I'd look at getting one of those if you just can't be bothered to make it. But if you want to save some money, yeah, you know, weld it yourself. Find a way to rig it up to the side of a tree or something. That'll work just fine. The Ronnie Coleman documentary film was sad to watch. Yeah, very relatable. Absolutely. The amount of supplements he was taking was crazy, and he wrecked his joints with terrible exercise form. A shame as it seems like. Yeah, he seemed like a really chill guy. And I say this a lot to people, like, I notice people with the best bodybuilding results are always the most chilled out, mellow people. Outside of, like, maybe Phil Heath. But he's a genetic anomaly, in that no matter what he does, he would succeed. Ronnie Coleman was also like that, but he also knew how to relax. He knew, okay, the gym is busy at, say, morning, evening. So he had actually programmed his day around his sleep cycle so that he could train when no one else was there. So he find little hacks around it. He was definitely a specimen of a man when it comes to being able to train really hard and somehow recover. So very interesting. Yeah, it was very sad to see, and he's very, very, very heavily medicated right now. And that could have easily been me. And And it could easily be me if I take the piss of my training. So I don't want to be like that. So that's a poster boy for me, is look how far you can take it and look how much damage you can do. And is it worth it? To me, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Got a very bad bicep tendonitis in my left shoulder. Chiropractor's out of options, waiting on an knee scan. And any advice? He said no, upper back work. Most movements are hurting it. I would look at a scapular plane test. You'd have to get someone to help you. Basically, you'd lie on your back, put your arm above your head, and kind of see what kind of mobility you get. So you'll find that one shoulder will go back further than the other. Now, it could actually be a tightness in the front of your shoulder, in which case maybe you're sat like that all day without realising it. Maybe sit on the sofa like that every day, sit with the children or something. So I'd look at the day-to-day stuff. The day-to-day stuff seems to be the problem for a lot of people. If you're a postman, if you do something, one-handed all the time, perhaps you're an engineer, I think. So maybe you use a span in a certain hand, you stand in a certain way. I look at trying adjusting that sort of thing. That'd be my first piece of advice. Outside of testing your mobility and see if you can improve the flexibility of that joint, and just be very careful with that one. Yeah, you need to take some time off. Take some time off. Just forget about upper body altogether. Forget all about it. If nothing happens after 2 weeks, reassess and get an expert in. Get some sort of scan. I'm interested in diagnostics, guys. When you've spoken to someone, you've tried something else, and it hasn't worked, get the right diagnostics. See what is absolutely wrong with the shoulder. Look into it. Costs a bit of money, but we can't have everything. That's the annoying thing. That's for calf worst dead at 26, 50 grams test a week, was it? No, what happens is when you it's a bit of a misnomer. So when you inject certain compounds into your body, it will pull into the bottom of your body. So when they measured his blood, it was pulled, the testosterone in his blood, because of the molecular weight, down his body basically. So it wasn't a fair representation of what was in his body at that time. And obviously extrapolated from his blood in that area, even though obviously blood settles that's why you get to see a pale body when you go to a mortuary sort of thing. So that's actually what happened. But yeah, he probably was using everything under the sun. It would not surprise me at all. 2019, that's it. Yeah, I knew it somewhat recently, but it wasn't well advertised, which is quite surprising because that's something we should have heard about, or I should have heard about at least. Got to go help with had Caterpillars buy a bigger yacht. Yes, that's about right. Yeah, like I said, work for yourself. Stop slaving after these. Fill in the missing word, but you could probably fill in the blank. You know what you'll probably say. At least I have Pullup bar outside and 2-steel pipes. I also use it as an engine hoist. That's pretty cool. Are resistance bands nonsense or some sense? X10 or equivalent. Oh, okay. They're useful for a lot of pushing movements and isolation movements. I don't think they're suitable for pulling movements overall. They're better than nothing, but personally, I would look at a video I did with Jerome Armstrong maybe 9 months ago. It was something like pros and cons of X3 bar, something like that, about 9 months ago, give or take. We went through the whole discussion about resistance bands for about 30-40 minutes. That's what we came up with, basically. Now, there's different studies which say, oh, it's absolutely great. But the thing is, and this is true with everything, guys, everyone wants confirmation bias. Everyone wants to spend loads of money on something because they think it's the next best thing. Supplements, drugs, equipment, gadgets, tech, training equipment, they think, I've just spent $400 on an X3 bar. I'm going to find and Google everything I can to justify that expense to my wife. So she thinks I've got a good deal here. I'm going to be muscular and macho and all that sort of stuff. The answer is go to a gym. It's the evolutionary upgrade of people picking up rocks. Bands are pretty good. They can be used alongside gym equipment to sort of change your resistance profile. But generally nowadays, if you're going to a relatively well-equipped gym, I'd go to a gym. That'd be my first choice. Second choice would be my home bodyweight workout, which is Ultimate Home Bodyweight Workout, something like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Very good video. And I'll be using that alongside some resistance band stuff, like isolation for the side delts. That's personally my take on it. Hey, Zbigniew, thank you for joining. Nice to see you here. Very good. Take it easy on a big guy. Carrying weight is impact fat is fun. Yeah, I'm probably just saying that because I can't carry weight on my back at all. So my mum gets me to sometimes walk down on a Saturday morning to pick up the raw milk from the farmer's market. It's about a 5-minute walk away, but I'm obviously quite heavy. Then putting 5 kilos extra onto me is a real nightmare. My body does not like having extra weight added to me. So I do admire you for doing something difficult. There's something to be said for doing stuff that's hard. It's definitely fun when you do it, but yeah, not for me. Not for me. You might be interested, actually. They did a study on people that basically used additional weight that they lost for a fat loss phase on their body when they're exercising to try and see if it staves off that metabolic adaptation. They found it's quite useful. So there's some utility to it for sure. Hit the like, absolutely. We've got a super chat from Ben. Thank you for joining as well. And also thank you for the thing. Current macros, 350 protein, 40 carbs, and I think it is average. I'm talking average over a week, 105 fat, something like that. Training plan is basically push pull legs. No, push pull. So push day, pull day, shoulders and arms and calves, then leg day. But I'm doing my arm stuff only on an arm, shoulder and calf day. I'm not doing arm stuff on the push and pull day. So it's a 4-way split. I'm trying to basically give my lower back and my hips more recovery between days. So I'm training those things less often. Sorry guys, I wolfed down my dinner just now. It wasn't cooked properly. Standards. But yeah, that's what it is at the moment. It seems to be quite effective. When you train really hard, it doesn't seem to be that you have to absolutely train as frequent. People have this reductionist idea. Muscle protein synthesis lasts 2 to 3 days. Okay, great. So what? So you can recover in every 3 days. Muscle protein synthesis. What about your brain? What about your neurological drive? What about all these things that add up throughout the day, all these stresses? I mean, that is certainly more than 3 days sometimes. I couldn't train my legs twice a week as hard as I train them now. No chance. So that's why I'm not much a proponent of that. But if someone is doing a full body, upper lower, yeah, absolutely, because you can do that because you're modulating your frequency, you're modulating your absolute volume in a given workout. So as soon as you start putting more body parts into a session, you have to be a bit more precise with your exercise selection, a bit more on point, leg extension versus a squat, leg curl versus a deadlift, that sort of thing. They're going to each have different recovery capacity requirements. Next. Just want to say thank you to Fox for joining. Excellent. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I'm now on about 46 members, which isn't too bad. There we go. Okay, back to where we were. So Mike said the Trent twins were allegedly in hospital due to overdose of caffeine, which is really hard to do. I can't believe I used to drink caffeinated tea and pre-workouts before I was carnivore type me up for the gym. Yeah, I have decaf coffee at the moment. In the last few days, honestly, I've been having about 2 or 3. I'm hungry, guys. I'm hungry, but it does seem to blunt appetite a little bit. But inevitably, like I've said, the last few weeks, I am waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning quite hungry. I am waking up to the light outside, so it's not completely bad, but yeah, it is a bit frustrating. Now, Nick's got a question. Been experimenting full body workouts 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. My strength on all lifts has gone up surprisingly. However, I'm feeling it in my joints. Maybe dropped alternative days. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, Nick. So, I mean, I'm a fan of. It's very simple for people. You can pick to the 2 ways. You can do in a given week. You have a leg day Monday. You have a pull day, run upper body day, say Wednesday, and a Friday do lower body, whatever. You can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or whatever it is. Or you can just say, oh, okay, day on, day off, day on. So 1 week you have 3 days, 1 week you have 4, and that's completely fine. You average 3.5 sessions per week, so that's completely fine. When it comes to your joints, I'd look at your exercise execution, being careful to stay within your active range Try not to force range of motion which are not natural to you. And the other thing is, I wouldn't be afraid to take an extra day off sometimes. So maybe right now, Nick, maybe, oh, that's fine. It's just you need an extra day to recover. You're tired. You haven't slept well. It could just be next week, for example, you train, I don't know, Tuesday, day off, Thursday, day off, Saturday. Then get back to Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So you could try that as well. But that's what I'd be looking at. Training less does not destroy your gains, guys. That's my thing. And I've learnt that the hard way. That's in, day off. Yeah, that's it. Yes, I'd certainly do alternate days. Don't stress about following a day split in terms of like, you know, numerical or chronological value or whatever, you know. Thanks. Yeah, the scapulae thing. I can't get my arm over my head without feeling like a knife being driven my shoulder. Front part where it goes rough. Gets through. Yeah, that sounds about right. Other thing to look at is your obliques. So your muscles on the side of your abdomen. Or your intercostal muscles. It could be that they're a bit tight. If you're driving a car and you're always like that, I've known people that have had like chest pain from doing that. As bizarre as it sounds, it's probably a day-to-day thing. That'd be my inkling. And I'll just go in and work out like animal with only water, well, with some salt as well to pull the water into the vasculature. Yeah, that's cool. My intra workout here at the moment, well, my pre-workout is, I think, taurine, tyrosine, citrulline, creatine sometimes if it's in there. I don't know. Beta-alanine sometimes if I remember to take it. But I tend to just use Richard Smith's Keto Pro pre-workout. That's what I like that. I know where I'm at. It's good. Tastes fine. Does the job. Doesn't amp me up too much. And I'd say I go to the gym, I don't feel like I'm going to have a heart attack, which is particularly pleasant when you're 107 kilos, whatever it is. Interesting, yes. What are your thoughts on red light therapy? Well, for a lot of people, it's good. For me, it's great. Brilliant. So I've got a panel here. It's a bit flickery because I haven't plugged it in properly. I've been unplugging things. Yeah, I think it works great. I use it throughout the day randomly. So I tend to use it at the moment after the gym. So I'll close the curtains, turn that on. I'll put it quite close to me. In the morning, I face looking outside the window, open the window. So my desk is here, guys. My other desk is here. So I'll eat my breakfast looking outside with the red light just kind of hitting me. Maybe like 10, 15 inches away. What else? If you've got kind of any skin issues or even organ issues, you can actually put that on the body part. It seems to be quite helpful for recovery there. It does warm it. I use a red light and near infrared light. I believe it's 650 nanometer frequency, wavelength. And also I think 950, I can't remember, or 850. But it's very good. I do rate it. It's just, the hard part is remembering to use it. If you integrate it into your day-to-day stuff, so you have breakfast, you have it close to you, it seems to be really good. I think it primes your body to be more receptive to synthesize vitamin D later in the day. Helps regulate leptin, appetite, stuff like that. Definitely helps sleep. I think these in combination with the light thing are amazing for sleep. Like I said, it's just you got to remember to do it. Then it works. It's no good buying these things and not using it, you know. But very good question. I do rate it very highly. Probably health hack number 2 for me is like the sleep light stuff. Have you added on isolation readouts work on pull day or shoulders and arms day? Good question. Yeah, so my pull day is, if you bear with me, I'll just read through it. Sorry if it's a bit tedious for you guys to listen to, but I think a lot of people are probably wondering what I'm doing anyway, which is fair enough. So my pull day is underhand pull down, chest supported row, reverse fly, so rear delt stuff, yeah, so that's my third exercise. Then hyperextensions, so 4 exercises, about 2 sets of each. I tend to keep the weight the same mostly, so first set will be, it depends what exercise, say 90 seconds times load. Second set might be like 70, so I always hit less, so I know I've trained really hard basically. That's my pull day. Shoulders, arms, calves day is effectively side raise, a curl, a push down, another curl, another dip or push down thing or an overhead thing, then some calf raises. So I do a bit more volume on that day, but because the exercises are very timid, they're not too invasive to my recovery capacity. So that's what I found is quite good. But these things are subject to change all the time. As you get lean, the body struggles a bit to keep up with recovery. So, but I'd recommend doing it. I mean, if you're very cut for time and you think, I just want to get on and do something, maybe just do, say, a couple of sets of like your rows, like your machine rows, but just put your arms higher up, your elbows higher up. That will do the job. You don't have to have an isolation exercise for rear delts. I don't think I isolated my rear delts for the most part of the last 9 months. I didn't notice any difference. So there we go. Next. Cheers. Yeah. Excellent. My pleasure. Do you find creatine makes your body hold on water when you first took it? When I tried it for a couple of weeks in the past, my face is puffy. It looks like bloated and clothes. Good question. Yeah, it's probably just a digestive reaction to it. I don't think it's absolutely bad for you. I think your body will get used to it. I think it is a naturally occurring substance in the body. Sometimes people can just take too much. Initially, when I first used it, and when I've not used it for a long period of time, so I've not taken it, I've just been eating chicken breast and turkey for God knows how long. I've had a few scoops of creatine. I noticed that night and maybe the day or two after, I'm urinating a lot. It does seem to be very cause and effect interventional, so that's me. I don't notice that I'm more bloated or puffy, in that it's, well, you hold creatine in the phosphocreatine stores in the muscle, so I don't think it'd be that much of a bad thing. It's probably a gut microbiome upset which caused a bit of systemic inflammation, in my opinion. But that's a guess. I couldn't say that was absolutely true. I mean, it's not going to make you fat. It has no substantial real mass to it. So it's not going to make you fat. It might make you feel stronger, more dense maybe, if you weren't having much beef, for example. But yeah, I think it's an okay supplement. I think it's like one of those 1% things, and I think everyone else says the same thing as me, so I don't think it's too controversial. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it anyway. Very good. How many lean days do you have to drop body fat? Yeah, so my show is about 80 days out, like 12 weeks or something like that, I don't know. In terms of the week, I do 5 days low and 2 days high. When I say high, it's not high. I'm not having a cheat meal, guys. It's not high. It's not. I'm not eating a brick of batter. Put it that way. I'm having some cream in my protein ice cream thing, which is a bit of a treat. Well, it will taste good to me. Anything that isn't chicken breast tastes good to me right now. So yeah, 5 lean days and 2 higher days. It seems that I enjoy that, and by about Thursday, Friday, I kind of anticipate the higher days. So that seems to be quite useful for me. It's something to look forward to a bit, but also gives me a bit of freedom on the weekend. So, for example, yesterday in the UK, it was Mother's Day. So I went with my mum, my nan, stepdad, my brother, went out for a meal. I had basically a keto meal, so carrots and cauliflower cheese, meat, beef and lamb, I think I had. And that's quite nice, quite enjoyed it. So it gives me that freedom still. I'm getting results, so it's not impacting my life in a sense either. So I'm getting the best of both worlds. So I quite like doing that. The reason why I do 2 days rather than 1 day is one bigger day would upset my gut microbiome more. And also I find that if I have a few low days and a very, very, very high day in terms of food intake, my metabolic rate seems to really upregulate, and it's not pleasant because the next day I'm like ravenous. Do you think I swell my stomach up to that size throughout the day? Then the next day I've like got that much food to work with. I'm like, I've not hit that satiety spot. So I personally think 2 days is better than 1. I'd rather see someone spread out that mass of food or that surplus of food. It's not surplus, guys. It's barely maintenance for me. But you know what I mean. I'd rather spread it out over 2 days. I think that works a bit better. And also means you don't kind of obsess or put that that day of eating on a pedestal. Because, as soon as you're like, oh, I got 1 day out of 7 every week that I can go and eat lots of food. A lot of people are going to binge, but I know I've still got that tight bracket. It's not a big a lot of food, guys. So for me, it seems to be the most efficacious way to absolutely drop body fat in the most efficient way. I noticed on the Saturday, the Sunday morning, so the day after one of the higher days, I tend to drop a bit of weight. So higher circulating insulin seems to increase gastric motility, which seems to be useful for clearing out your guts, which is probably a good thing sometimes, because as you take in less mass of food, less protein, less fat, definitely less carbohydrates, you won't be going as often. So people can get constipated. It does happen to some people if they eat too lean, too often, for too long. So that's kind of my thing. If you're wondering about the high days, I can't remember exactly, but it's about 180 fat, about 340, 350 protein, and about 50, 60 carbs. Obviously through a few vegetables, that's why it's a bit higher in those days. I feel slightly inflamed from the Sunday meal out, but not too bad. My stomach's a bit like, but not to the point where I'm like sat there thinking, oh, I can't move. It's not nearly that bad. I do suggest people sometimes, if they know they're going to eat out family every few weeks, just to do it. Just make sure you do it within every 3 weeks, just so your gut microbiome doesn't change too much that you become completely intolerant to these foods, which could really piss you off and piss off your guts. So that's something I'm quite cautious about as well. Yeah, guys, if you've got any more questions, please put a Q in the chat. Very good ones tonight, very specific ones, which I quite like. There's cool stuff. I'm just going to have a sip of my poisonous decaf coffee, laden with acrylamide and PCBs and that sort of good stuff that tastes nice. Very good. All right. Well, the next thing is, trying to think. Yeah, so the next thing in my card on the cards for me, guys, is that I'm trying to. I say try. I've kind of sketched out an ebook, which is a Carnivore bodybuilding recipes ebook. So my novel idea again, and it's going to specialize on these foods that are carnivore. Add in these if you want to make it a bit different, a bit special. These are good for bulking. These are good for cutting. So the idea is you can find a way to get other people you like, or your friends, family, involved in this sort of way of eating, without being absolutely abrasive to their life and stressing them out. So it's going to be quite useful, and it'll be a detailed book again. So it'll have the macros, the recipes, the amounts, recommendations, suggestions, tips, tricks, cooking technique, recommended equipment, things like that. But that'll be underway soon. It'll probably take me a few days to write it, just because I get a bit over the top of these things sometimes. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. It'll probably be about £3 to £5 something quite affordable, because I think some of you might actually quite enjoy reading that, just to see what I do. But what I will say is, when I diet, I really try to make it plain, boring, and shitty. I enjoy the suffering. I enjoy the masochism. I find it's a lot more. How do I put it? If you make something, if you have lots of food, it's all fancy, nice, colourful, and seasonings and all that sort of stuff, you just eat too much of it. I don't want to be obsessed with food. I don't want to think about food, guys. I'm trying to lose body fat. I don't want to make things hyper-palatable, so I try to make things quite dull. Now, saying that, yes, I do have my carnivore ice cream, which channel members have already seen that video, which is really enjoyable, and I really look forward to that. But it doesn't impact my fat loss results, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's something I would look at further down the line. It might be that eventually, at some point, maybe I'll go from full-fat raw milk to, I don't know, skim milk, which is a bit depressing, but it does the job. It will do the job, and it will reduce the fat intake of my diet. So if I'm trying to get very lean and struggling, I'm going to struggle to do cardio and have a lot of output, because my hip is destroyed. My spine isn't great. So I have to heavily leverage diet. That's why I'm done such a steep cut. Now, probably in a few weeks' time, maybe, I don't know. So see how I feel. It's all up in the air. My bodybuilder, I've been doing this for a long time. I kind of adjust on the fly. I may increase my food intake for a few days or a week, just to be a bit more chill, then get back on it. So diet breaks are very much useful. Now, if you're someone that's 30% body fat and you're watching this, you're thinking, oh, a diet break, that sounds good. It means I can not diet much. No, diet breaks are more useful for people, I'd say, below about 15% body fat. So when you get to that point where you're trying to go from like quite lean to much leaner, that's kind of when you want to introduce them a little bit. You don't want to be in a position, guys, where you're sort of constantly dieting week after week after week, 10 weeks, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's depressing as hell. It's not natural. It's not enjoyable. And it annoys everyone. So I don't recommend that at all. It's so hard to adhere to. I've done all sorts of diets in the past. I did one diet which is almost a carnivore diet with vegetables, I think, like a keto sort of diet, but basically ended up being that. But I was doing like an hour of cardio a day plus an hour of weights most days plus, I think it was like 250 protein, 100 carbs, and like 50 fat or 60 fat or something. I got shredded doing that, and I dropped about 18 kilos. I think it was 6 or 8 weeks, so it's really effective. But I was trashed by the end of it, guys. I was having dry skin. I could barely walk. I was having nosebleeds because my blood pressure was just so low. I don't know how that makes sense, but that's what happened. I say nosebleeds. I had a couple of nosebleeds, but it wasn't that bad. I think I'm overstating it, really. I probably just had a runny nose and a bit of blood came out, but yeah, it wasn't pleasant, so I don't really recommend doing that too often. Question from Matthew: do the high fat days give your leptin hormone reset? That's exactly the purpose of it. Exactly the purpose of it. The idea is when you're in a fed state, this is for 2 days. 2 days does work better than one. I noticed this with everyone I've ever worked. 2 days works better than one. So, you know, these bodybuilders like, oh, I have my cheat meal on Saturday and it's 5 guys, burger and fries, 2 doubles and whatever. You're better off just eating more throughout the whole day. You're better off getting your body to baseline where it recognises that over a course of a whole day. It will work better. Also stops you from putting food on a pedestal because you're thinking, well, I'm still on track here. I've still got work to do, but I'm just eating a bit more, 10, 20% more that day. I'd say broadly speaking, about 20% more food on those higher days is better. But then obviously the leaner you get, kind of the more you kind of have to push it up a bit sometimes, because when you're getting to like Thursday, Friday in the week and your Saturday, Sunday is your high day and you're like, it's not, you feel like you're just not topping up. You know, you sort of end Sunday, you think, I'm still hungry, eat a bit more. You're better off just eating 10% more and feeling satisfied and, you know, getting your headspace right for the rest of the week. Because you know by Thursday, Friday, you're going to be trashed again. Also look at your training days as well. That's something that I think is quite important. Maybe the back end of the week, try not to put a leg day. I try not to do a leg day on like a Friday, for example, because I'll be seeing stars. You know, so there's so many levers to pull, so many things to think about. But yeah, it's basically a mini leptin reset, and that's not going to be as effective as getting your body fat back up to whatever it was before. No, but it'll help you get on that right track. You know, so I think it's quite helpful. But like I said, you have to be quite lean to do it. I'd say definitely below 15% body fat, which I think is quite normal for most people. I think if a man's walking around 15% body fat, I think he's healthy, he's lean, he's comfortable, he can gain muscle, he can start to lose fat, he can train hard, perform well in pretty much any given sport. The only exception might be powerlifting or strongman, where it seems to be advantageous to have a slightly higher body weight to create more momentum, kinetic energy, and inertia. All right, there we go. If you guys have any more questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be wrapping up the chat very shortly. I just want to say thank you to all the channel members who have kindly joined tonight. I do appreciate your membership. For anyone that's wondering about this and thinking, I'm listening to this and how do I get it? So below the channel is a button that says like join channel as a member. Also in the description of all my videos, it will say at the very bottom, or near the bottom, alongside my links to my stuff, websites, is like join this channel to access member perks, something like that. And there's a button, you click on that. So it goes from like the beginners, gym rats, gym bros, gym pros, and meatheads channel member affiliation. A lot of you guys, I believe, are beginners and gym rats. A few of you are gym pros as well, which is really cool. Basically, it's like a donation option, but you do get something for it. You do get priority access to my videos. If you like my stuff and you binge watch it, you find my voice soothing, which seems to be very common nowadays. I keep getting messages from people saying, your voice is so soothing before bed, and I like to listen to you ramble about stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's surprising, because I would not like to listen to myself. But yeah, you can do that for about £1 a month. So, like $1.25 or something daft. So I do recommend people join that, and you do get your money's worth for sure. If you're feeling generous, move up the ranks. You know, it's all good of me. But yeah, so yeah, all good stuff. Anything else to ramble about? Yeah, so anyone that's wondering about the merchandise that I said at the very beginning of this, so it'll be under I think it's called Spreadshirt or Spreadshop. I don't know when the link will be available. Don't ask me. When it comes up, I'll let you know. That's it. But you'll have basically access to like t-shirts just like this, black, blue, I imagine different colours, white maybe. My logo on it, which is that, as you can see. So if you want to wear something a bit jazzy to the gym that's not Gymshark or whatever it is that kids wear nowadays, that'd be quite cool. It's a talking point as well, like carnivore muscle, what's this mean? So it might get people provoked. So yeah, I need to get some gym vests on with that logo, I think. But I'd definitely recommend looking at that. It does help me out quite a bit. I think I'm entitled to 20% commission fee through affiliation. The prices, from what I could tell, were about, give or take, 20 British pounds for a t-shirt, 38 British pounds for a hoodie, about 10, 12 pounds for a mug. I do not set the prices. They're set automatically by that company. It's basically, I'm an affiliate of it. So it's my branding on their product. But yeah, I'll check that one out when it is available, and I'll let everyone know in the community tab section of my channel. I think that's all for tonight. Well, hopefully next week we'll have either Nicole or Jerome, or maybe I'll ask Rick as well if he wants to come on. We'll have a bit of a rambling session. That's pretty much it for tonight. So if anyone's got any questions, I'm just going to give you, I don't know, 30 more seconds just to ask away, leave a queue, whatever, and I'll happily answer it then. Otherwise, that'll be it for tonight. If you're wearing blue blocking glasses, to get these things, under my channel there's a link. It says blue blockers, Amazon link. Check that one out. Seems to be all right. These are about 15 British pounds, I think, 20 pounds. They do come with the trim. They do look goofy, but I don't care. My health is more important than looking good on the camera, guys. And staring at a screen at night, regardless of whether it's 6 o'clock and dark or 9 o'clock dark, it's not good for your brain. It won't help you sleep better, that's for sure. So me being autistic, I do talk in absolutes, and I do want to optimize myself as best as possible. So if you're someone like me, biohack, you're looking to improve your health, and that's directly impacted obviously by sleep, recovery, leptin signaling, hormones, things like that, then certainly look at that. Getting morning sunlight is also important to help build up a reservoir of melatonin before you sleep to be released. So yeah, that'd be cool. Rick might be on as well, so I'll put the link in the chat next week when it comes up. Otherwise, tomorrow night is Team GB Carnivores. I believe it'll be me, Phil, Ben, and Britta Smith, and Lee Coppers from Kent Carnivore again, I think. We'll see. We may have Alan Reeves on again, but it should be a packed house tomorrow, so check that one out tomorrow. So it's a live Q&A, free for all, public. Everyone's invited. Cheers, Matthew. I appreciate it. £1.9. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, it'd be good to what's the word? It'd be good to see you all tomorrow night. Sorry, I'm getting tired now, guys. I've been rambling for too long. But yeah, thanks very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Just got home from a lift session. What I missed? You missed me rambling for about 49 minutes about stuff, and lots of good questions tonight. Lots of good questions. So I put them obviously on the screen to check them out. But anyway, guys, I'm off tonight. Thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you